Twitter unfortunately has become very political. It's become very opinionated. It's become so toxic rather. So I don't recommend people to get onto Twitter unless you have, if you're made of titanium and vibranium and platinum,
Yeah.
if you have that kind of a steel within you, then get onto Twitter. Otherwise, dur raho Twitter se.
Hey guys, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. मेरा नाम दिशा है and this is our guest episode with Atul Khatri. Atul Khatri is a businessman turned stand-up comedian and YouTube personality who you already may know from AIC and his amazing stand-up special The Happiest Ending, which was released as part of Comedians of the World on Netflix. I had a very fun conversation with him where he gave us some great recommendations. If you're new here, we are a recommendations based channel that brings you some of the finest recommendations on books, music, movies, and more every single week. So make sure you're subscribed, and with that, let's get into this episode. Hello, Atul Khatri sir. It's so good to have you on our channel.
Thank you, Disha. Thank you so much for having me here.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
So today I'll be taking a lot of recommendations from you, but I was wondering if we could start with travel.
Sure. Favorite destination abroad is I love Dubai. Dubai is what India should have been. I'll tell you some interesting things about Dubai. Dubai, for a very long time, not I'm talking about maybe 30, 40 years back, they didn't have a currency in Dubai. So the Indian rupee was the currency over there because of the traders which used to go. So some of the old sheikhs over there, they still call the dirham rupiah. But the way Dubai has come up, the way, it has just exploded. It has now become the number one sort of destination in the globe. You go to Dubai now, you see people from all over the world over there. You see Americans, you see Brits, you see Australians. Obviously, Indians are though we constitute the maximum population in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it's I think you can go there, sit in a taxi, talk in Hindi, go to a restaurant, talk in Hindi. Everybody knows it because of so many Indians over there. And Dubai has this penchant for the everything that should be the world's biggest. So the world's biggest mall, the world's longest tower, the biggest frame, and this and that. Everything has to be biggest or tallest or largest. It's really very well maintained. Same Indians in India, we spit and throw garbage. We touch Dubai, which is just maybe 3 hours away, and suddenly we become better human beings. One other thing which I've seen in Dubai, which I saw in New York, is you get entire world ka cuisine over there. So I'm a foodie also. So you will get Ethiopian food, you will get like Uzbekistani. Last time I went, I had like Kazakhstani food, Kazakhstan food. Yeah, a restaurant which just sells that. I'm telling you, in Bombay there is no proper Chettinad restaurant, but in Dubai there are like some 11 of them. Then for most Indians it is Thailand because the Thais have really understood what tourism is all about. Absolute value for money. Hotels you get there, the food and the entertainment and all that is so nice. And obviously the traditional Thai massage which you take over there, it's amazing. And it is cheaper than India. I mean, you go to India, one of these proper spas and all that, they charge you like 8,000-10,000 bucks. There in 3,000 rupees, you can get like a 2 hour proper Thai massage, which will really open up your body. So I think in terms of the food, in terms of just the spa wellness thing is good. What is your favorite destination, Isha?
My favorite destination is I recently went to Kolkata in India, and I think it's quickly becoming one of my favorite cities in India just because how good the food is and how colorful the city is.
I totally agree with you. So I'll tell you again. See, I'm a comedian. I have a lot of stories. I'm 54 right now. Till the age of 40, I had never been to Calcutta.
Oh, okay.
Never. 40 because and there's no relatives there. I was not into comedy then. I was to run an IT company back then. So there was no really work in Calcutta. And then once with the family, we went to Sikkim for a holiday, and the flight was via Kolkata. So I told my wife, "Hey, we have never seen Kolkata. Anyway, the flight is connected. Let's stay 2 days in Kolkata and see the city."
Yeah.
And 2 days, 3 days, I think we were in Kolkata for the first time. And I'm telling you, I fell in love with the city. First of all, I think it's a lot of resemblance to Mumbai because of this British architecture, living along with the horrible Indian architecture. Then how we have a Kali Pili taxis in Mumbai. There you have those
yellow taxis.
Yellow ambassadors. Kolkata was the capital of the British for a very long time. It was the capital of the Mughals for a very long time. So there's a lot of Mughal food. You'll get amazing Mughlai food there. You'll get amazing, obviously West Bengal Bengali food. You'll get amazing continental food there because of the in those gymkhanas and things like that. And you get amazing Chinese cuisine, the Tangra cuisine they call it. I don't know what exactly Tangra stands for. Maybe your viewers can in the comments put for, but it's an area, I think, amazing Chinese food you get there. And they are the original settlers from China. A lot of them were in India, so they are proper Chinese people who are obviously they become Indian for a very long time because I think of the proximity of the China border to West Bengal. So you get like 4, 5 amazing cuisines in Kolkata other than the street food. So I totally agree with you that Calcutta was one of my favorite. I was just there 15 days back,
Oh,
and I had some amazing Bengali food there.
yeah.
And thanks to comedy, you get to visit places and try different cuisines. Goa is, I think, one of our favorite places. Being a Mumbaikar,
Yeah.
because first of all, it's so close by. There is something little magical about the place. As soon as you reach Goa, suddenly all your tensions fly off. I don't know, it's the air over there, the salty air, or just you see so many coconut trees, or it's just the laid back attitude, which you can just see it. Like I remember once I was on a flight. I was on
Yeah.
a flight to Delhi,
Mhm.
and just next gate was they were boarding to Goa, and the people in Delhi were so grumpy, and this and Goa, everybody was so like they looked so happy going to Goa. A lot of people are wearing shorts and colorful shirts and caps and things like that. So I think even Central, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Panjim. So Panjim, being the capital of Goa, it has obviously there's no beach over there, but they have the river there, and Panjim has its own, beauty and charm to it. There's some amazing restaurants there. You can just walk around Panjim. There are these old, those Portuguese houses which are there. Constructed houses. Just
Yeah.
walk through the lanes, through the markets, and it's very nice. I think Goa is one place we could just tell anybody. I think anybody you can just say, let's go to Goa. Nobody will say, nahi yaar, bore ho jayenge. The kind of quality of resorts which have opened, and it has got money for every kind of budget you have.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
you want to splurge, you can spend over there like 50,000 rupees a night also. If you can get amazing hotels there, or
Yeah.
you can stay in a lovely shack on the beach for like maybe 2,000 rupees a night. So I think that's so it's a backpackers as well as a luxurious travel destination. So yeah, I think Goa would be my favorite.
You mentioned street food, and that made me want to ask you for recommendations on food in
Oh,
Bombay or anywhere in
you
general.
have 4 hours, right? I hope.
For food, always.
Yeah, yeah. One of my favorite street foods obviously has to be the vada pav in Bombay. So the vada pav was invented in 1969. I was invented in 1968. So I think 1 year after me they invented, or I think 67. I don't know, 67 or 69. It was invented. It was invented in this area in Bombay called Dadar,
Hmm.
and it was basically supposed to be like a fast food for the mill workers there.
Hmm.
So because first of all it has got vada, it's got aloo, it has got pav, which is it's very very carb loaded. So the mill workers, you have two vada pavs. It's your stomach gets full, plus it gives you so many carbs which you require to. If you're a mill worker, you're working, you'll require those
Yeah.
extra carbs. Every locality in Bombay has its famous vada pav wala.
Ah,
So I stay in Juhu in
yeah.
Bombay. So near Mithibai College, there's this favorite vada pav wala, which
Hmm.
who used to put Amul butter, inside. So
Oh,
yeah, so he takes a pav, puts Amul butter, then he puts the vada, then he puts the regular chutney. And I'm
he
telling you,
doesn't toast the
no,
bread.
no, no, no. It's
Okay.
a he just takes it and he does it. Like, first of all, Amul butter you can put anywhere. It tastes. You can if you have a wound, also put Amul butter. It will get okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think the vada pav is definitely this. One other thing which is very underrated, but I love it, is the Frankie. You know,
Oh, yes.
the Tibbs Frankie. Again, people who do not know, they're a Sikh family. They're a Sardarji family who live in Andheri East. I think their father started this Frankie thing, which is basically you take a roti, you put egg in it, and you put mutton, chicken, or you can even make it a vegetarian option of it. Put onions and you put masala and you wrap. So I think the Tips Frankie is maybe the number two. This and obviously then the bhelpuri and the chaat, and my mouth is watering while I'm talking to
I
you.
know. Same.
So again, every locality in Bombay has got this famous, bhelpuri wala. Near my house also, there's this very famous bhelpuri wala. I like to go there in the evening. You have to wait for 30 minutes to get like a sepuri or a bhelpuri. and the pani puri. And so again in pani puri, then this Elko arcade is there, the Elko pani
Oh,
puri wala in Bandra,
yeah.
which is so famous. Again, let me tell you, in the pani puri also, see, I'm talking a lot, sorry.
I'm loving these facts.
So in the pani puri also, like if you go to Elko and some of these ones which are, which are started by Sindhis. So what they do is na, in the puri they put this ragda.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
put
yeah.
this hot ragda and then they put the water, which is sometimes, if you really look at the other places like in Calcutta or in Delhi where they sell this puchka or the golgappa, they
Yeah.
usually just put aloo and bundi, you know.
Yeah.
But some of these places, this Hindi places, this Elko or Guru Kripa and Sayan, they put this hot ragda in the puri, and so it's a very hot plus spicy kind of a mixture along with the cool cold pani puri, the puri as such, the pani, sorry, the spicy
Yeah.
pani.
Yeah.
I think you get a good combination of that.
There's so much pressure to eat it fast, otherwise the puri starts melting. It starts
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
super
yeah.
soggy at the bottom.
But that's it. When you eat pani puri, it has to be like you have to. It's a competition between you and the bhaiya who's serving you. Like who's winning.
Yeah.
Then the other, I think, good food which you get, not really street food, but I think the food which you get amazing is the dosas. Again, if you see the dosa as such an integral part of even Mumbai street food, also every street corner. If you go to one of these cow gullies, you will definitely have a vada
Oh
pav
yeah.
counter, and you'll have a dosa counter. And dosa also, if you go to, for example, the Sion area or the Matunga area in Mumbai, which is predominantly,
Yeah.
dominated by South Indians, the kind of dosas you get, I'm telling you, it's as good or better than what you get in Chennai or Bangalore.
Agreed.
And then my one last favorite street food is the Bombay sandwich, which is such a simple thing. Just take two pieces of bread, put butter. Again, Amul butter has to be there everywhere.
Yeah.
You put green chutney, you put all the vegetables and the masala. My God! And again, there are these places depending upon the chutney where people are famous and this like that, and you'll be surprised half all these guys now are on Swiggy and Zomato,
Yeah.
and so even these street food walas are there. Other street food which is again very popular in Bombay is the pav bhaji.
Yeah.
Even though it was supposed to be, I think, Gujarati dominated, but I think pav bhaji was, I don't know, I think invented in Bombay only. I don't think anywhere else. And one of my favorite pav bhaji walas actually is in Vilepal. It's called Maruti pav bhaji. Their bhaji is very different. Usually it's like a golden brown color, but this is like dark brown color because they put some particular spices in it. So it's not very spicy, but it is actually, when you're having it, it's like black pav bhaji. It's like looks
Oh.
fairly blackish. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Order ordered it from Chembur. Ordered it from on
Yeah, I
Swiggy. You
will.
get
I'm
it.
very curious too. I've tried the green pav bhaji. This is the first time I'm hearing of the brown
Yeah,
one.
it's like a dark brown, black kind of a pav bhaji. We know obviously in Bombay, the famous Sardar pav bhaji in Tardeo. This amount of butter he used to put. Again, Amul butter. They should just keep
That is
on
what
putting it.
makes them the best.
Yeah, I think I'm telling you, Amul butter you put in anything that tastes best.
Yeah.
One of my daughters, when she was small, she used to eat rice with Amul butter.
Oh.
White rice, just put Amul butter and they used to eat it.
What
Kala
about
khat.
Sindhi food? Do you have any recommendations on that end?
Oh yeah, so Sindhi food, there's a lot of recommendations. So first of all, I don't know you guys know these Sindhis
Yeah.
every Sunday religiously, most Sindhi household will have curry, chawal. Then
Yeah.
we have something called as a aloo took, which is basically double fried aloo.
Yeah.
Then you have this something sweet bundi. This is a bundi, but which is it's cooked in sugar syrup, so that's why it's sweet. So
Yeah.
it's a combination of rice, curry, aloo tuk, bundi. That's it. I have been to like Sindhi's houses in Hong Kong, and on Sunday they have the same thing. Hong Kong and California, they have Sundays Sindhi curry. Like you guys call it Sindhi curry, we just call it curry. So
Acha.
so curry, chawal, bundi too, amazing, and top with meathi lassi. It's like a knockout. You have that, and for 4 hours Sunday you can just sleep.
Yeah. I have a lot of Sindhi friends, so I've grown up eating a lot
You
of
are so
Sindhi.
lucky. You are so lucky. You're blessed in life. You are in Chembur. There's this very famous
Jama, yes.
Jama sweets where the
Yeah.
gulab jamuns are legendary. Even there's samosa, patties. So again, the patties with the ragra on top is a very Sindhi thing. You know. And they put the, like, if I think even in Jama when you go, I think they even put the ragra on the samosa. You know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they take the samosa, they crush it, they put ragra, and they put the chutneys and they give it. All these people, like I know that Jama and a lot of this. There's another a Sindhi place in Khar called Tharu, Tharu. Again, it's a very similar like Jama. They serve all these sweet meats and things like that. So these guys came from like Sindh during the partition. So they were like more or less penniless. So they left. They didn't have, and they came here and they started this. food thing, and today they are all over the place. Guru Kripa in Sion also is good example. Kailash Parbat in Kolaba, because Sindhis have been a very integral part of Bombay right from the very beginning. One of the very famous foods of Sindhis is called koki. It's like a thick thepla. It has got onion, coriander, green chilies. Again, you just have one or two of this and you are done. And in 2018, I was on a tour of US, and I was there for close to 1.5 months. And there, one, I think, a Sindhi fan invited me on a Sunday. He said, "So please come home. You tell me you want to have curry, chawar to bundi, or you want to have koki." I said, "No, no, just give me koki and dahi." So koki, because it's so spicy, you usually have it with dahi. And yeah, so, and obviously papad. So even though we Sindhis have got attached to that word papad, but let me tell you, I think Gujaratis have more papad than Sindhi. So I think these are the this, and obviously then अपना नारियल पानी, I mean, as we are looking at street food, then the kala khata gola, which is again, I think, invented in Bombay, the kala khata gola. So if anybody is from outside listening to this interview, so you can come to Juhu Beach in Bombay, and they have these stalls over there where you can taste all these things. So you will get your dosa, you will get your pav bhaji, you will get your sandwich, you will get your vada pav. So in one place you'll get everywhere. And then Bombay has this amazing these thing called khao galis, like Ghatkopar has a khao gali, Vilepal. It's again, I think khao galis more come from Gujaratis, because Gujaratis love to eat this street food on the weekends. So like Ghatkopar has this amazing khao gali, Vileparle has amazing khao gali, where all these street food guys come, and they are like all of them are legendary. They have been there for like 30, 30, 40 years.
You clearly are very interested in food history, and I was loving listening to the little facts you were throwing in. I was wondering what your sources are. Where do you get all this information from?
First of all, I'm old. I'm 54 years old. So all of them have maybe come through time. So my timeline is longer. Obviously, I like vada pav, was interested. Okay, what is the history behind vada pav? So I googled it and came to know. You can Google the history of vada pav, and just that. So before my stand-up comedy, I was a CEO of an IT company. But I started my career as a sales job. So in 89, 90, I used to like sell computers door to door. So what happens, there's something called as cold calling. So it's a marketing thing where they just send you on the field and say, Jake pecho, just enter buildings, go to every office, wear a tie and carry your brochures and go and say, hello, sir, do you want a computer? Can I, and 90% of the time they just throw you out. I got an area like called Kalba Devi. So Kalba Devi is again, it's Bombay 2. So Bombay 1 is Fort Fountain area. Bombay 2 is the Kalba Devi, the pin code I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Kalba Devi is where the Javeri Bazaar, the gold market, the bullion market. So that's really the trading hub. For a long time, that was the trading hub of Bombay. That area, because it caters to a lot of these Gujarati jewelers, there's some amazing thali places in that Kalba Devi Javeri Bazaar, the Gujarati thali, which actually started like a community service where they, because, the Gujarati workers are there, they come from their villages, they are staying in these small, small cubicles, making jewelry every day. So they started this kind of thing where, at least they could get home food, So there is this, I think it's called the Friends Club or something. I forget the name. It's a thali place. And there's a Shri Thakkar Bhojanalaya, which is again a thali place. So that area, the Kalba Devi, Bhuleshwar area, it's, a lot of these amazing Gujarati thalis you can get.
I was wondering if you have any stand-up special recommendations for us.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite stand-up specials over the last few years, which I watched, is Chris Rock has this stand-up special called Tambourine Man. I must have watched it at least 4 or 5 times, and amazing. You can hear a lot of podcasts. So for comedians who want to hear, or people who are interested in comedy, Kevin Hart is a very famous comedian. He has got a podcast on most of these podcast platforms like Spotify. It's called the Comedy Gold Mines, which is again very, very good, where he sits and talks to all these big comedians across the world, and talks about their comedy journey. I'm a big fan of Russell Peters. A lot of people used to say, oh, he was funny in then, now he's no longer funny. I think he's still very, very funny. His lot of old clips you can just keep on watching. It's so funny. Yeah, so like this, there's like Dave Chappelle, there's Bill Burr, Anthony Jeselnik is another one guy. He does like crazy dark comedy, like like talks about everything under the earth, like absolute dark comedy, like the epitome of dark comedy. So a lot of Indians who have not watched comedy, please don't watch him, because then you'll get horrified. He kya bol raha hai? Because he talks about babies, he talks about cancer, he talks about anything and then makes jokes on that. And very, very dark jokes, very, very, in Indians would say offensive jokes. Okay. Even though actually in comedy there's nothing as offensive, but yeah, whatever. It's not really a political answer, but I know how hard stand-up comedy is, how tough it is.
Hmm.
So any comedian who goes on stage and make you laugh for an hour, is doing a great job.
I was also curious to know if you have any favorite comedy films and just actors who are also comedians.
The late Mehmood, he was great. So some of the movies like Bombay to Goa, Padosan, they are like classics. His acting and his comedic timing was just like brilliant. You have to imagine that those are I'm talking about movies in the 70s and the 80s.
Hmm.
They didn't have too many references or things like that. So they were like genuinely born brilliant. Even Kishore Kumar, the singer, if
Yeah.
you've seen some of his movies like Half Ticket or even I think Padosan, yes, he was there. Brilliant, I mean, he was more than a sing. Obviously, he was a legendary singer, but his comedy timing in acting also was great. You know,
Yeah.
he was like a great artist, a great singer, great actor. So these are two of my favorite ones. In India. Abroad, there are a whole lot of them. There is Steve Martin. There was this guy called Liam Neeson. If you really want to watch a real funny movie, go and watch the Airplane series.
Okay.
It's old. It's I think in the 80s or early 90s maybe. Airplane 1, 2, 3. Then other one which you can watch is Something About Mary. I think it's got Cameron Diaz. Yeah. So watch that. That's a great comedy movie.
One question we love asking our guests is if they have any product recommendations, and usually we give them a budget, but I don't want to, like, is there any product that you use on a daily basis that you would highly recommend? And we always get very funny answers from comedians. I remember Rahul Subramaniam recommended a massager. Jose had come, he recommended a mosquito repellent.
I'll tell you this great device. I picked it up like in one of the street guys.
Uh-huh.
It's like it costs like 20 rupees. Okay. And it's like a stand for your mobile.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So you can put your mobile over here and record a front video kind of a thing. And it is just for 20 rupees. And when I went to buy it, this guy had like some 8 colors. You know, I said, why are colors required? You could have one color because it's finally you're putting your mobile phone on it. So
yeah.
that's one product which I would highly recommend you to buy. I'll tell you this, not really a recommendation, but it's a general, like a old uncle giving all the kids recommendation. Whenever you buy any equipment now, see that you buy of the best quality. Like I have a Windows laptop. I'm an old man, so I could never figure out the Mac platform, Mac OS. So I use Windows, and in Windows, my laptop is the Lenovo ThinkPad.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Lenovo has a lot of different models. But the ThinkPad model, for example, I should charge Lenovo for plugging this, yeah. But anyway, that's a separate question. So the ThinkPad is NASA uses is even in the ISS, in the International Space Station, because it is made of such quality equipment. So it's an expensive laptop. So if you go to buy a regular laptop, it'll be like 50, 60,000. This is like would be around 2.5, 3 lakhs.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's like a workhorse. It is. I've dropped it from my hand, and last 3 years, 4 years, I'm using it. Touch wood, not once it has crashed and
Mhm.
things like that. And I was earlier in an IT field, and I knew, like, I used to always tell people that it's an important critical pet. For example, like I'll tell you that day, a cameraman came to my house to shoot something. Okay,
Yeah.
and he had a proper, I think, Sony or some Canon camera he had. But the headphones, he had some 300 rupees headphone. Okay.
Yeah.
Which he picked up from the market. Now, what was happening is every time he was putting in the camera, it was losing its thing. You couldn't hear properly. And the shoot got delayed for 1 hour. I told him, you idiot, if you would have just bought a good quality like a JBL or a Sennheiser, the
Mhm.
300 ka maybe it would have cost you 2,500 rupees. It was like a headphone mic like this, which you put in a ear,
Yeah.
you know. But see the amount of time everybody's been wasted because
Yeah.
of a stupid 300 rupees, headphone because you try to save money there. So I always say, especially when if you're earning money from it. Suppose you are a blogger and for you your camera is what you say, so then go and buy the iPhone 13 Pro,
Yeah.
or buy the best GoPro which is possible. Spend money on that. I'll tell you your returns will come. So don't try to be कंजूसी मत करो उसको. So that's one recommendation I will give.
I would also like to get some music recommendations from you if you have any.
Oh, music recommendations, I'll give you a lot. Again, I'm a huge fan of music with lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that it goes on for 3 hours. मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता है. I like music with lyrics, and one of my favorite, Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne as a singer. So Ozzy Osbourne is also one of my favorite artists. Touchwood, he's still alive. Then Phil Collins is, again, it's like more of a rock, soft rock kind of a thing. Around in 2017, my wife and I, we went to Germany to watch his concert.
Oh, wow.
I remember last song where he was singing some. It was a nice slow song. Like my wife and I were both like crying. We had tears in eyes because we knew probably we are seeing him for the last time ever, because
Yeah.
you're getting old. Another very good recommendation I'll give you is a British rock band called Jethro Tull. It's like an alternative rock. They have a lead singer called Ian Anderson. He comes with a flute. Jethro Tull, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. These are all like classic. You cannot go wrong with it. Even Deep Purple is one of my favorite. Supertramp. And these songs, like how if you really look at old Hindi Bollywood songs also,
Hmm.
the old songs, they have so much depth in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Writers like Gulzar and Anand Bakshi, there was so much depth in the music. One word meant so many things. Like one paragraph, you could have so many interpretations of it. Similarly, with some of these old rock bands, if you hear some of these lyrics, if you get into the depth of the lyrics, they're just brilliant. You must have read that Bob Dylan,
Hmm.
the famous rock singer. I think he got a Grammy, I mean, under poetry or something. So they said that his lyrics are more like poetry.
Yeah.
So even like some of our greats like Anand Bakshi, Gulzar Saab, their lyrics were like poetry. I mean, they are poets basically. Most of them were. They got into music lyrics because they wanted to make money and things like that. But by heart, they were like all poets and kavis or shires, whatever you call them.
So, what would you say is your favorite song lyrics wise?
There's a song, I don't know who's written it. Ek Pyar Ka Nagma Hai.
Yeah.
So many of them are there. Right now, this is which
Yeah.
comes as yeah.
I love following you on Twitter and Insta. Do you have any Twitter or Insta handle recommendations for us?
I follow Nora Fateh. I find her very entertaining. More than the
Uh-huh.
dancer, she's funny. You
Yeah.
know, Even
Yeah.
Sunny Leone is pretty funny. If you see her stories and all that, they have some like humor to it. They are not like they have some character to them. They are not just flat characters. So
Yeah.
I like these two. I like a lot. I obviously follow most of the comedians who are there. In my fraternity, people like Rahul Subramaniam, people like Kusha Kapila, people like Dolly Singh. They do, they keep on coming up with so much content, and especially in the last 2 years pandemic, we were all feeding off these content creators because you start your TV, it was only negative news over there. So these were really the entertaining factors. Most of the new movies are not coming out because the production had stopped and things like that. So we were really the people in Instagram really editing. Twitter, unfortunately, has become very political. It's become very opinionated. It's become so toxic rather. So I don't recommend people to get onto Twitter unless you have, if you're made of titanium and vibranium and platinum,
Yeah.
if you have that kind of a steel within you, then get onto Twitter. Otherwise, dur raho Twitter se.
So, one final question I have for you is what is a movie you watched last that left an impact on you? Or just your favorite movie in general? Anything?
Web series could also do, right? I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah, sure.
Currently, I'm watching this one called Euphoria. It's
Oh, you were watching Euphoria?
Yeah, I'm watching Euphoria because somebody recommended to me, and he said it's all about drugs and this and teenage issues and all that. See, right now what has happened is I'm trying to become a fan of how they make these seasons. So
Yeah.
it's more than the storyline, more than the characters. It's just that how they are writing the screenplay and things like that. The one other one which I had watched which is like it's got some 8 seasons, and it's got some each season has got some 10-12 episodes, and each episode is 1 hour. Was Sons of Anarchy. It's about a motorbike gang,
Gang, yeah.
about I think the Harley Davidson kind of a gang. It's called Sons of Anarchy. Again, somebody hooked me onto it, and I found that first I started, oh my god, some 8 episodes, 8 में 13 each 1 hour. How much hours काम करूँ या नहीं करूँ?
Yeah.
But it was very very addictive. Then I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars franchise. So वहाँ से कुछ भी निकलता है, I really like it. The last was the Mandalorian. Then there was the Book of Boba Fett. I'm a big fan of even Marvel. I like all action. I don't like all these sad stories and all that.
Acha. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you, Disha. Thank you so much, and all the best to you guys.
Thank you.
Hi guys, this is Atul Khatri here. Chalchitra Talks is this much away from hitting 100K subscribers. So please go and subscribe to that channel and listen to such amazing conversations by amazing people like me.